All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go into our last and final game of today. This is, of course, MouseSports, Mouse CC against Team Empire. We're going to go into our ace match, third game.
The ace of the ace match, man.
Ace of the ace of the ace. Ladies and gentlemen,
No more.
Thorzane versus Happy. Let's get into it.
Map is going to be Shattered Temple. What a fitting place for two Terrans to do their final dance of death. It is going to be cross-map positions, not fixed, mind you, so close air was possible, but did not happen. In the 6 o'clock position, we have the blue Terran Mouse Thorzane tied at 1-1 with his opponent, the Empire Terran Happy, representing Empire. And I believe, is he Russian? I think he's Russian.
He's Ukrainian.
Are you sure?
Positive.
Really?
I'll bet you Cheesecake Factory.
Cheesecake Factory is delicious.
It is delicious.
Don't tell Gretorp this, but actually I could not lose that bet. Because no matter what I win, because I'm at Cheesecake Factory. I did see that you cited me in an interview, and I appreciate that, saying it's good to go on mandates with me because I always pay.
You always pay.
That's good, though. You're one of the first people to give me credit for that. Hint, hint, EG House. You sons of guns. No, I'm just kidding.
You were super nice to me. I'm not going to lie.
I appreciate it. You actually drove me around everywhere, so once again.
You know, it's a give and take relationship that
Yes.
we have. That's the best part about it. Especially when it comes to our casting.
Yes. Absolutely. I am enjoying this, though, by the way. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of fun being out here.
Love to have you some more, of course.
Yeah.
You're going to be joining me for the finals, actually. So if you guys like our casting, you're going to be seeing Mr. Jeff iNcontroL.
Am I? Hi.
The finals of NASTL. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, these aren't the finals. These are
Right. You actually stopped my heart. I was like, wait a second. I thought you meant the regular NASL, and I was like,
no, we don't want you for that.
yeah. Keep me on the back burner for that one. Jeez.
No.
No, finals are going to be great. We already have Team Liquid there. And you know what? With these four teams, there's actually not a pairing that I'm not excited about. If Mouz makes it up there, I think that's the slightly more, like, prolific pairing. If Empire gets up there, it's kind of a cool story because, again, Empire constantly getting counted out. But then the third, fourth place match is going to be awesome, too. FXO going to toe-to-toe with either Empire or Mouz. So much good stuff. That's why these team leagues are so awesome. Once you get to the bottom of it, there's nobody's like, Team Liquid, I don't really care for them. I don't know. They don't really play it.
No.
Nobody does that.
They'll love these teams, man.
And I think the format for that, actually, you know what? I remember.
Go.
One of the team leagues we did, I think it was the Ghost Coaching Premier League at the time.
Premier League, yes.
Sen versus Naniwa. What's that?
Malice in Wonderland. Go check it out.
Right.
On
Oh, geez.
DVD, Netflix.
Sen versus Naniwa went down to the wire, the final game, and every game from beginning to end was just epic as all get out. That is, I will always remember that finals. That was fantastic.
Also, don't forget the Select versus Jinro. Do you remember that one on Metalopolis?
Yes, that TVT was
Holy
so
crap,
crazy.
Bro.
Actually, it was wasn't it Terminus? You said.
No, Metalopolis.
Was it Metalopolis?
Positive it was Metalopolis.
Okay, I think all the games.
I wasn't even casting it with you.
What's that?
I wasn't even casting it with you.
I thought, who'd I cast it with?
You casted with Chef, I want to say. I think it was
You were like
Chef.
sick or something, I guess?
No, it was our casting rotation. Remember?
Oh, we rotated. Okay, that was actually ridiculous.
That was awesome.
Good stuff. Ace matches abound. So, I mean, if the tradition sticks up, we're going to see an ace match in the finals as well. So you guys should stay tuned. Check that out. $10,000 on the line. But to get inside this game here a little bit, we are seeing pretty similar builds once again. Factory going down for Empire Happy with the reactor on that barracks for Thorzane. Tech Lab on the barracks. And 3 barracks in total. So actually a pretty big difference here. He's going to go bio, obviously, off that fast expansion. And Happy's going to go slightly slower expansion. But this factory usually means a little bit more mechy play. Maybe into bio, but certainly a tech opener.
You might ask yourself, why get that bunker right there? Happy is getting this just as a precautionary measure to defend against any sort of Reaper shenanigan. Again, that Reaper build, it really messes with a lot of different builds. And
surprised we don't see it more, actually.
It's super rare. Yeah. It is kind of weird, but it's super rare. But just having that bunker in place obviously allows you to deal with them because they're just so fragile.
I can't tell you how many Terran players I work with that always talk about that build and say, yeah, gosh, I mean, if the Reaper shows up now, I'm just completely screwed. Like, in our practice sessions at the EG house, sometimes we'll bring Terrans in, and Demuzzle will be like, what do you do against the Reaper? And they go, oh, I just die here. It's like, oh. So just sometimes banking off the fact that a Reaper won't show up. But Happy is going siege mode pretty quick here. I like this depot on the right side by Thorazane. It's like a Banshee / Medevac spotter. It's kind of what Protoss do. They drop pylons around the map as spotters. And, of course, they can warp in off that, so less utility here for the Terran player, but still cool.
I'd love it if when you burrow that supply depot, it actually becomes cloaked, and you can just chill it there.
Yep.
That'll be heavily imbalanced, though. How sick would that be?
Now, factory is going down, as well as double reactor for Thorazane. So this is the massive, massive Marine variation, and I like the metagame that's at play here. The previous 2 TVT games we saw coming out of Thorazane, but then also go into the cast series, it was almost always mech, or at least mech tank, or excuse me, mech bio, which was Marine tank. And that certainly could be the case here, but we're definitely going to see like a starport after this factory and lots of Marines as the opener.
Now, this is the timing that I was talking about. Combat Shields is just finished, and he actually has an option right now. It's an option. It doesn't necessarily mean he's going to use it, but he has the option to be a lot more aggressive than he is. And Thorazane, look at this. All these units pushing out here. And let me tell you, you do not.
No.
Oh, God.
He's going to lose his tanks. He's going to lose everything.
Look at that spread. Beautiful spread as it is. But this is what I'm talking about. That Combat Shield, it helps out so much when you're dealing against a teching player. This tech just does not work for taking control of the map like this.
And I think what he's about to do, which I really like. Okay, never mind. Well, maybe still. I want him to go kill the back rocks at the 3rd.
Okay.
So he's checking to make sure like there's no greedy high yield. And then I'd love it if he went and worked out the back rocks so that he could have the option to always harass from there all game long. Now, that's just me being a little bit too specific. So, of course, I'm not upset with Thorazane. We're still friends. He's invited my birthday party. But I wish he would have done that. Now, behind this, again, we're going to see that tech lab on that factory, so eventually tanks will come out here. But what an advantage already secured, killing those 2 tanks and Marines in the middle of the map.
Yeah, I mean, the 2 siege tanks, it actually puts the puts Happy way, way behind, because this is the type of stuff you have to have happen. Siege tank all over the place, just preparing in case of any drops. That's the main variation that Terrans that go bio go into directly after that. Normally, you know, there are 2 big options. It's Marine plus Medevac or Marine plus siege tanks. And Medevacs obviously has a much better synergy, so you're going to see Medevacs. You know, delaying that tank count. Now, if he wants to take a 3rd, well, he has to wait for those siege tanks to actually pop up. That's going to be another big deal. Like, it's just a big, big problem. So that's why we see such a defensive Happy right now. And it's going to give Thorazane that slight edge going into taking the 3rd first.
Well, I might even move to say this is a huge advantage, Gretorp. Look at all the stacked defenses going up for Happy. He's leaving a tank inside his base. He's got Marines in there, missile turrets going up. And, of course, this is all not necessarily a bad idea. Not at all. But when you take that map control by opening bio the way Thorazane did, these are the kinds of things that Happy has to do to feel comfortable.
Yes.
And maybe they're good, maybe they're bad, but certainly they're coming earlier than Happy would like. If he had that map control, he was the guy applying pressure. He doesn't have to worry about spending so much money defending himself from potential attacks. Whereas Thorazane is able to take this high yield, and he's going to saturate it. And yes, mules don't do much on high yield, but SCVs still do great. So he should transfer over a full saturation of SCVs pretty soon.
You can look at this. Thorazane was actually expecting there to be a command center over here in the top left-hand corner. That's how far ahead he is. Thorazane knows that he has a very good advantage at this point.
Yeah.
And he's looking to actually continue it on. One thing I think Happy can do is actually push out once his siege tank gets huge. I mean, his biggest advantage comes at the army composition. Actually, Marines and siege tanks we know to be a very strong composition. If you only have Marines, then you're in a lot of trouble. So if he can hit before Thorazane materializes off of this 3rd base, he might be able to reestablish himself that center control and kind of mitigate all the advantages that Thorazane have. But it's still, I mean, you said it best. He has an advantage. And Thorazane...
I mean, I think we're going to see that push like you're talking about. But the big problem here is that double medevac on the left side. Not only does it end as or represent, excuse me, the inability for Happy to take this 3rd, it's also the potential for a counterattack. And if you look across the board, yeah, okay, there's more tanks for Happy, but not by, like, dividends of 10 or 15 or something like that. It's just 2 or 3, which means that as long as Thorazane's ahead in upgrades and he has his Marines spread out, as long as he's got comparable number of tanks, I feel like he is still the aggressor, even with Happy trying to push out into the middle of the map.
Yeah. I mean, there's just so many things he has to be careful of. That's the biggest problem. So
yeah.
How does he actually push out? Just going siege tank the siege tanks on this particular map, cross positions, I think in general is a lot harder than if you go for bio on this beginning stage, then get your third, then go to siege tanks, and then you can just explode. And Thorazane definitely showing that this style works out a lot better. Now splitting up a couple units.
That double drop, perhaps Gretorp.
Yeah, he could be doing
actually a little bit of mistake kind of showing it, then bringing it, but makes no difference to Happy. Didn't see it until it's too late.
Oh, God.
Couple more Marines get land. Oh, look at this. Thorazane's actually going to maximize this. And now dropping on that otherwise undefended main base from an angle that doesn't have missile turrets. Very painful. There is an engineering bay with some upgrades here sitting exposed. Thorazane has a focus fire. Big battle going on in the middle of the map. And good surround by Happy, but the tanks are too much. He gets bunched up for 1 second. Now behind this, there's a huge tank count, so of course he's not going to die here. But the damage inside the main is tremendous.
Tremendous. Taking out these engineering bays gives him a big advantage from here on out. He has an advantage until 3-3 hits for Happy. And the main reason is because now he will have that 2-2 advantage, so 2-2 over 1-1. He can actually sit back, remax, and then attack.
Yeah.
And he will for sure have the better army just based on those upgrades.
And those upgrades make such a big difference. I really feel like it's like PvT where upgrades are the most important, but then the second matchup is TvT, especially in bio. If one guy has 2-2 Marines versus like 1-1 or 1-0, it is so ridiculous what a difference that makes. And it's because Marines are pretty okay against tanks. I mean, if you're only dealing with like 5 or 6 tanks, as long as you spread them and they're stemmed with a good concave, they mow through tanks. It's that time when there's like 10 tanks that siege up and your Marines are all bunched up together that the noob throws his hands in the air and goes, well, I can't just make Marines against tanks. No, you got to babysit them. But Happy is on equal basis for now. Lower right side is being taken by Thorazane. But it's the supply count. Look at that. 45, 50 supply advantage for Thorazane.
Now Thorazane is saying to himself, how do I get into positions where it's Marines against out-of-position Marines and siege tanks?
Right.
That's all he's looking to do. And with this center control, it gives him a lot of options. What he wants to do is actually position here and keep attacking this bottom area, forcing units out of position, and then switching over to the main. And that accomplishes that. You're able to take advantage of your upgrade advantage. And that's the type of stuff that we should be expecting from Thorazane. You just got to be careful. Make sure you don't, again, all it takes is one really bad attack, and Happy has all this momentum.
Well, Gretorp, he's going to force it. He's going to edge out those missile turrets here. And he can potentially lift, but it looks like Happy's going to push in, and his Marines get exposed. What is he thinking? God. Every single Marine except for one dies, and then Thorazane kind of returns the favor, so I'm not quite sure what happened there, but both players were like, I hate Marines, get rid of them! Threw them away. Of course, Thorazane did less so, but with the tanks where they are, he's in a position to threaten Happy, but Happy actually taking the initiative, grabbing that high ground. Meanwhile, on the left side, there's a huge swell of units from Thorazane, and he's going to compromise that mineral line.
And yet again, it looks like there is an engineering bay hit squad over here. Engineering will stay up, but those siege tanks on the left-hand side are going to be able to just stop that gold expansion from mining. Just attacks going on all over the place, committing Happy's forces.
Oh, wow.
In. Oh, there it is.
And that's it. Thorazane just takes too strong of a position, making sure that that high yield base was not being mined effectively. And of course, if you don't have another base to go to, Happy is being pinched down there, man. His main production line was under danger from drop and tank range, and then his high yield base it fell apart.
I think that it just goes to show you the power of just straight up Marines in that early game stage on a map like Shadow Temple when you're cross positions. And not only that, I think the gold expansion, it's too exposed. You can't do that. You will need to rely on more static defense. That's why you saw like missile turrets and stuff like that go up. You need to rely on more static defense to actually keep you safe when you're going Marine tank against just mainly mass Marines. So if you're able to actually get that enclosed position on the top left, put maybe a couple bunkers, maybe one bunker, a couple turrets, and then a siege tank. Okay, that's shut down. I don't have to worry about any harasses. Now let's utilize my army composition. That didn't happen, and we saw Happy get punished for it quite severely.
Yeah.
To the point where he couldn't really play, even though he was on 3 base.
Now, Thorazane does carry his team to the finals. It's going to be Team Liquid versus Mouz. And overall, I believe with the 4 victories today and the 1 loss in terms of map score for Thorazane, he's now 10-2 in games. If that's not MVP caliber play, I'm not quite sure what is. He's just an absolute monster. Of course, he'll be going up against the likes of Zenyo Hero, as well as Rhett. Some of the big names in this game are going to be going toe-to-toe. TL versus Mouz. That's another little rivalry that is pretty fantastic to watch. We're reaping the benefits of those two titans going at it. I mean, there's going to be some amazing matches.
So, ladies and gentlemen, look forward to that. That's going to be going down this weekend. I'm so excited. Of course, going to be casting it with Jeff iNcontroL Robinson. So, looking forward to that. We want to thank our sponsors. Of course, the people that made this possible. Ezo Monitors, the monitor supplier here at the NASL. Of course, iBuyPower Computers. See them on the sides? Those are beautiful chimeras. Of course, iBuyPower Computer, the computer sponsor here at the NASL, powering the NASL studios. Also, thanks to Kingston HyperX, Cooler Master, and last but not least, Beyond Gaming. Also, check out the Facebook giveaway. Go over to facebook.com/iNcontroL. And then also go over to facebook.com/AzoUSA and like them on Facebook.
Yeah.
And you can win that beautiful monitor. It's so easy. Just a single click gets you into the running to win a beautiful monitor signed by all your favorite people at the NASL Season 2 Finals. Also, you can call their 800 number, 800-800-5202, extension 200. And talk to them about purchasing one of those monitors, because if you're not so lucky, you can't get that monitor. Some people might not. You can purchase it for a discounted rate, limited time, until the NASL actually finishes, which is, oh my God, it's really soon. It's in a couple days.
NASTL, yeah.
NASTL, yes, the NASTL. So definitely check it out. Also, check out the Beyond Gaming BG Link desktop app. You have actually a lot to say about this, because I know your team uses it.
EG is utilizing it right now, and it's really good for practice. It kind of lets you know. I mean, it's all kind of stats. I'm not quite sure if all of them have been implemented just yet, but it's going to let you know things like your overall win percentage on certain maps, matchups, APM, different scenarios like that. And it also, they do a daily tournament, actually, much like the Play Him Daily, where you can win tokens towards prizes. But what the BG Link does for you, actually, is it automatically records your score. So you actually don't even have to click on a website. You just play the games.
Awesome.
And that, I mean, it's kind of like an escalator. Going upstairs was easy enough, but now they've taken it and made it even easier. So BG, Beyond Gaming, doing fantastic work. And EG definitely approves. Definitely.
Well, that's going to do it for, that's going to do it for today, ladies and gentlemen. We want to thank, of course, iNcontroL for casting with you. Do you have any shout-outs before we actually end this?
Of course, yeah. Thank you to you guys, NASL, of course, for having me out here. I love the opportunity to cast. Also want to thank my team for making it possible. Evil Geniuses, our sponsors, Intel, Kingston HyperX, SteelSeries, Monster Energy, and Sapphire, as well as Beyond Gaming. All those guys making it possible for me to kind of tour the world, sit with awesome people like this, and do awesome stuff like this. Couldn't do without them. Check out my stream, iNcontroL TV, on Twitch TV, also my Twitter, EG iNcontroL. Otherwise, thank you guys so much for supporting me. I really appreciate it. I'll see you all at Lone Star and then MLG Columbus. Really excited about that. And, of course, I'll also be at PAX East, unfortunately, instead of IPL. So I can't be everywhere at once. But all that stuff that I named that I'm going to be doing, I encourage you guys to please come say hi. I'd love to spend time with you.
Busy man, iNcontroL. Thank you so much. And ladies and gentlemen, you can find me at Gretorp on Twitter and Gretorp TV on Facebook. But that's going to do it. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you next time for the finals.
All right. And we're back. Delphi versus Stefano.
They thought they were watching us still.
Oh my God, NASL, your stream froze.